T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Jones mess with the wrong melon farmers. Thug life. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I never held him.
This is as far as you go. No more.
Hello, Sydney. Are you God damn me.
Wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
Ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today's the day. It's finally here. If you'd have told me 3 months ago I'd be doing a show on Bigfoot, I'd have been saying, no, I'm not. No, I'm not doing a show on Bigfoot. We're doing a show on Bigfoot. Tonight is the night that we are finally going there. And I could not, I don't think, and actually I know for a fact, I know that this would not be possible, nor would the channel have gotten to this point to where we're talking about Bigfoot without one individual. And I want to welcome him to the show because there's no way I could do this show by myself. There's no way. It's impossible. It is impossible. Patrick from Have Cheetah will view. What is up, dude? How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing good. I never thought I'd be sitting over here on a Sunday night talking Bigfoot with all these good people.
I never thought I'd be talking Bigfoot at all, Patrick, and yet here we are. It's funny how things work out, and I'm excited to do it, man. I feel like there's been a build up to this. I feel like, it's been across many different shows that I've done, through paranormal shows, through horror shorts, hell, through top 10 countdowns that I've done on this channel, slasher villains. It is all moved towards Bigfoot. And I think that you and a couple other people in the chat have a lot to do with that. So you guys have made me look into Bigfoot. And here we are, man. here we are. I'm excited to have you here, brother. Welcome to Movies and Beyond.
I'm so happy to be here, and thank you to everybody in the chat who's come out so far for our show.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to take this platform here and lobby Michael for that rematch for Bigfoot and Dexter.
Of all matchups that you could fall on, like, I do my best to keep my composure when I do these shows and we come up with these interesting battles and try to come up with creative ways that these two would go at each other. When we had Bigfoot versus Dexter come up, in my head I was just like, oh my god, what do you even say to that? Like, what how do you what the odds of something like that ever happening, dude? But it was fun, man. And that's what those those matchups are for, man. It's been a while since I've done those too. Those might have to make an appearance again on Movies and Beyond for sure. But I know you've been lobbying for that rematch.
That's right. We want a rematch. I think Bigfoot fans want that rematch. Why wait till WrestleMania 44 where we can get it on now?
It's so good, man. It's so good, dude. And it's been so long since I've done those. I miss those. Those were so much fun. But tonight we're here to talk about Bigfoot. We've got a couple videos to go over. I know you said you had some facts that you would like to go over, and believe it or not, we'll get to this too. I told you a little bit about it backstage, and we'll watch some videos. We'll come up with our our own theories, or believe, not believe, or still maybe I don't know after this show. But I did put into AI, right? I put in, I asked it mathematically, what are the odds of Bigfoot being here current day? And it came up with something interesting. But like I said, AI is never 100% guaranteed. But I was curious because I knew it would break down numbers of some sort. And that's why I asked it mathematically. So I'm also interested to share what, they said about that. But let me ask you this off the rip, before we get into, the defining moment if Bigfoot's real, because it's going to be determined on Movies and Beyond. For hundreds of years, they couldn't solve that problem, but we're going to solve it here tonight, just like that, in a 2-hour show. Where do you stand on Bigfoot currently?
Well, I mean, there are some places, like I do think if Bigfoot lived, if Bigfoot is alive, I think he is in Canada, in all seriousness, because there's so much more wide open space there and unexplored. I think that he probably would have left the United States because of the population, too many people.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see him migrating north to Canada because they have, most of their country is, within like 75 miles of our border, for the most part. But there's so much expanse out there, and it's actually unexplored. It's virgin territory. So the chances of Bigfoot actually being around, I'm with you. I'm with the chat. With the AI. I think there is a mathematical chance that there is a Bigfoot.
Yeah. Bigfoot's been around as long as I can remember. Even as a kid, people talk about Bigfoot and they talk about, other things like, the Loch Ness Monster, we talk. There are certain things that, whether you believe or not, there are things that have kept going, right? And it's even more now in a social media age that we're in, there's just more material on it. When I was a kid, it was just whatever anybody said about Bigfoot. It would be in stories. It would be, hey, I heard this or I heard that. And I think that, it was almost like a time where it was cooler to me because it was just, you were full of so much like wonder, and now through technology and their ways of being able to like pinpoint. I mean, I honestly doubt that the US government is spending resources to find out if Bigfoot exists, right? I doubt there are
No.
satellites pointed at forests and they're doing like heat signatures and all of that stuff. But it is kind of left up to us, not so much me and you, but the people who either believe or not believe to do their investigations. You see a lot
Well,
more of that.
we can't entirely dismiss the government's involvement in it either, because you still have Area 51, which is totally shut down. No one can get into Area 51. You had Duke University, who for many years, in fact, I don't know sure if they still have it, but for many years they had a parapsychology department where they ran experiments on people with special abilities, whether it be telepathy or telekinesis or cryokinetics.
Yeah.
So again, it's like there is a chance. Plus, you got the people who have had Bigfoot encounters, and when you talk to them, and I've talked to a few cryptid hunters, they 100% feel like they have encountered a Bigfoot, and we're not there, so we can't say otherwise. It's fascinating to me.
On a channel like mine, where where paranormal does have a presence, on my channel. Initially, the paranormal portion of my channel started off as Michael's scared of ghosts. Let's try to freak him out for some videos. Fast forward a year, you've got me with a backpack on walking through Waverly Hills, and it's just like, like, how did I get here, with that? But like paranormal, and Bigfoot, and, there are there are so many things that are unknown, and there are valid arguments for both sides, to say, well, technically you can't 100% dismiss this because of this or because of that, or because how do you explain this? So I don't know if this is something that'll ever truly be definitive, yes or no. But as long as there are people out there that are believing and they're having these encounters, I don't know if we'll ever really know the truth. I don't know if we can really ever come up with a definitive answer, unless someone literally catches one and we're looking at it and it's just like, okay, what the hell is this?
Yeah. The technology is a game changer. It's like with the Loch Ness Monster, back in you mentioned you're an 80s kid and I was a 70s kid. And the Loch Ness Monster was huge in the 70s. They did documentaries, did movies, but now here it is, with all the tech we have, it's like you don't ever hear about Nessie anymore. And to me, it's like, okay, how come they have not explored that lake from top to bottom? Like surely they find the water so cold there that the bones would be preserved. So even if she died and her remains went to the bottom of the lake, there would be enough there to ascertain that there was a Loch Ness Monster. But we haven't heard anything about that. Is that because there was no Loch Ness Monster, or two, there was, and they don't want to talk about it?
Yeah.
And then to me, it's like, that's one of the things the government do. They deny, deny.
Yeah.
So same thing with Bigfoot. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's.
Something else that I always wondered about Bigfoot, like, why would it not just exist with humans? You know what I mean? Like initially, like, do you think that, at one point a Bigfoot walked up like, oh shit, there's a human, and they tried to kill it, and it was just like, I will stay away from you forever, because I just don't understand why they would hide like they do if they were like a bear or a gorilla or, probably something more sophisticated, right? Something more intelligent. That's the word I'm looking for. More intelligent. I just don't understand why they would hide like they do.
Well, I think it's because of the very fact that what it is. It's supposed to be, it all depends who you talk to and and research you read. But a North American Bigfoot is supposed to be have the intelligence of a gorilla, and it's supposed to be about 9 feet tall and range between 800 to 1,000 pounds. I mean, if you look up the definitions of what a Bigfoot is, that's generally what it is.
Yeah.
Now, could you imagine if they caught one? I mean, back there to the turn of the century, they had all these freak shows. If you came out with, if you had a beard, if you had 3 eyes, if you had, if you were conjoined twins, you were put in a freak show and then traveled all over the country.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes sense that the Bigfoot would not want any part of that and probably would run.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do agree, but we're gonna figure it out tonight, Patrick. We're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna start with one of these videos tonight. Let me. Anytime I share a video, whether it be paranormal or horror shorts and stuff, I like to read their information, because I definitely want you guys to, whatever videos we watch, I always appreciate when you guys go over and give them a like and a comment and everything, because without them creating their content, we wouldn't be able to have the resources that we have to look at things like this tonight. So definitely the first one that we're looking at is called 10 New Bigfoot Sightings in 11 Minutes. So we'll watch one, we'll pause it, we'll talk, and then we'll move on from there. Let's see. And it's from Barely Afraid. That's the name of the YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and hit subscribe right there and give them the thumbs up. Let's see. 10 more Bigfoot sightings in 11 minutes. In tonight's episode, we investigate multiple sightings across the country. And it gives a bunch of links to their other videos below it. Hashtag Bigfoot, hashtag sightings, hashtag cryptids, hashtag scary stories. So I will put the links in the description after the show, the 2 videos that we watched tonight. Let's make sure that we are going over and supporting those content creators over there. So let me go ahead and do my part here and bring it over. A better man would have been more prepared. But that's what you're getting on Movies and Beyond. You know what you're getting, right? All right, let's go ahead and get this a start. I did fast forward through the intro right here because it kind of gave previews of what's to come. And I don't like the previews of what's to come. I like to just go with it. I don't want to see, a fast forward. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. The good thing is it looks like it has numbers for each one as I'm skimming through. So we'll be able to stop at the end of each one. So here we go. 10 new Bigfoot sightings in 11 minutes. Here is number 1.
This footage comes from a man's dog. He had strapped a GoPro to his friend who actually caught a sighting on camera. As we follow him through the woods, we see a strange figure. The creature seems like a hairy ape, but is clearly bipedal. This clip comes from 2005.
That's number 2. Let's go ahead and back up here just a little bit. All right, we'll go ahead and leave that right there because we have the image right here, Patrick. So what are you thinking about this one?
Well, the key to this is the dog.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the dog did not, the dog did not go crazy, tells me that, because the Bigfoot is supposed to be a human, a humanoid,
right?
I can see the dog not barking at the Bigfoot because it's, it gives off the scent of maybe a human. It's not giving off the reaction of a wild animal, if you or like dogs normally do. They see something strange, they start barking. But the dog doesn't bark here, so it might recognize this as being something like its master. I mean, again, it looks like it's possible that could be a Bigfoot.
To me, it gives off a vibe that the dog is definitely familiar with whatever this is. For the simple fact that there's zero reaction from this dog at all. You know, have you ever walked a dog down the street and it sees like a raccoon or it sees another dog? You know, it's immediately a situation, you know, if you're walking a dog. And to me, I just feel like if this was an actual Bigfoot, there would be a reaction. You know, there would be a reaction from the dog. Like to me, it just seems like it's familiar with whatever this is. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not the expert here. But to me, it's just like when we do paranormal and you have like the paranormal things that happens and you've got the animal that is freaking out, you know, I feel like that would kind of be the same with something like this. That's just, you know, my opinion with that. I just feel like whatever this is or whomever this is, I feel like the dog is familiar with the scent of whatever this is.
Or it was upwind and the dog hadn't smelled it yet. But the fact the dog probably would have saw it, and still would have reacted, and it didn't. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing: if that happened to be not real, that's a pretty good costume.
It's not bad. It's definitely not bad, man. For sure. All right. Let you guys in the chat. I want to know what you guys have to say. So Val did say this. I did see Val coming across here, and she brought up the same thing that we were talking about. She said, no reaction, you know, from the puppy. And you brought it up. It was like the first thing that I noticed, you know, and that's probably the biggest thing. Russell saying that's crazy. Like that's he's definitely on board. Like that is crazy. I do see we have somebody new tonight. Adrian Lightfoot 697. I love the name. Hello, just got here. I hope I'm not too late. Let's talk Bigfoot. What's up, Adrian? Welcome.
That's right.
Welcome. Wayne said, what if the creature is afraid of us, like Harry and the Hendersons? I mean, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about, Patrick, about the initial reason why. Yeah.
Yeah, like they would, because, you know, we've seen that before with the animals, you know, whenever humans encroach on their territory, you know, they retreat from it, you know, which is it's an animal instinct, you know, and they retreat until they can't retreat anymore, and then they adapt to their surroundings. I think with a Bigfoot, I think it's just, you know, it migrated up north, you know, it would go to Canada. Now, how it gets from, you know, how does it cross the Lawrence River? That's the question. It's like, how did that happen? How did, you know, that would take some more, you know, investigation. But I definitely can see if it migrated up north, they could not be discovered in, you know, because Canada is so freaking huge.
Right. Hell yeah. All right. We ready to move on to number 2?
Number 2.
Let's see what they got
is
for
clearly bipedal.
They're giving us the slow-mo and everything there.
This clip comes from 2005.
What the? Dude, holy shit! Did you see that?
Nathan Wiley and his friends were filming a school project in the woods on Prince Edward Island. Supposedly, they needed a shot of someone running from the woods for the project. But when the boy was running from the trees, a huge, unexpected ape-like a creature came running out of the woods. The creature darts out quickly, moving at a high speed. The boy running isn't actually even aware of what's happening behind him, but just running for the shot. Many are skeptical of this footage as it was being filmed for a project in the first place, but only you can decide if you feel it's legitimate or not. This next clip comes.
All right.
Now, did you notice one big thing?
I noticed it was running on 4s.
How about Prince Edward Island?
Oh, I did not notice that. Is that really significant with the Bigfoot sightings?
It's Canadian.
Oh.
It's in Canada. And that's what we've been talking about.
To me, it looked like it was running on 4s, though. I don't.
It could be a bear.
Yeah, I mean, well, shit, that's to me, that's even scarier than Bigfoot. If I had a bear running behind me, you know what I mean? Those are known man killers. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, those are known to like they will hunt you and they will kill you. Someone just recently died. MMA fighter was mauled by a black bear, which you don't hear often.
No.
In I think it was Canada. Yeah, it was in Canada. And he had his, fighting career ahead of him, and he ended up getting mauled by a black bear at his day job, and killed. And it's just like you don't often hear about, black bears killing people. It's mostly like grizzly, Kodiak, polar bears, things like that. Not that I'm a bear expert, but I do go down those YouTube rabbit holes every now and then. And same with Bigfoot stuff for sure. But to me, it does seem like this thing is running on fours, though. So, in your experience with the Bigfoot stuff, do they ever run on fours like that?
I have never seen a Bigfoot run on fours. I mean, but it wouldn't surprise me considering that many people think that they evolved from apes. So, and apes run on all four legs too. So they can walk both, normally and bipedally. So but to me, I mean, the first picture, the first time with the dog, that looked like a Bigfoot. This one here looks more like a dog. I mean, more like a bear.
Yeah, I think just by the way it's moving to me, it looks like it's, hand. I mean, I know that it's not their natural habitat, but it's almost like a gorilla to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the vibe that I'm getting, more than likely a bear than anything else. But yeah, that's definitely the vibe that I was getting from that.
He's lucky that's a black bear and not a grizzly, because if the grizzly would have spotted that, they would have been over with.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how many people were behind that camera making that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's time to go. It is definitely time to go. But yeah, let's see what the chat has to say about that. Val saying that looked more like a black bear. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne said it's Braun Strowman in a suit. That's a wrestler, right? Is that? I think that's the guy that they were talking about. Might be the next Jason Voorhees, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the chat, if you guys know. But yeah. Russell says looks like a bear to me. Okay. Adrian is saying I'm watching from Australia. Oh wow. That's my real name, Adrian Lightfoot. This is fantastic. It's my first time ever talking about the Foots. I've always been following you for ages. So happy to be here. Well, that's awesome. And thank you for following. And it's great that you have come to a live chat to talk with us. I always talk about, the people that follow that aren't always in the live chat. But it's so cool. And welcome, Adrian. Welcome.
The special edition of Movies and Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's the B for tonight. That is definitely the B for tonight, and this is fun so far. All right, Patrick, you ready to go for number 3?
Yeah,
let's see what we got, brother.
This clip comes from the hills in California. The video appears decently old, but no original source is available for reference. The Bigfoot has an orange-reddish coat and is running through the forest. It also appears like he grabbed something from the woods while running along. The creature appears to move like a human, but it seems too big to be a man in a suit. This clip was filmed on January 3rd. Appears to move like a filmed for a product. The video appears decently old.
All right, this guy's definitely big.
This is actually taken in 1967, Michael, and this is the most famous Bigfoot clip they have. This clip played forever. In fact, they call it the Gilman and something tape, and it ran for 59 seconds. And yeah, it's the most famous clip there is. And honestly, it's very definitive. That really, I can understand why This is where the basis of Bigfoot being popular in the 70s was that one single 59-second clip. But it does look like a true Bigfoot.
It is it's alarming how big it is, or how big it appears, for me, being on the, the outside looking in with that, and then, watching it run across, like you could see how big that is, like how, and like you said, so this video came out in when?
1967.
So we're definitely before the stages of AI, definitely
Yeah.
before, that capability.
Plus the makeup at the time. I mean, the suit technology, everything else. You can sit there. It's a suit. It's a suit, and it's like, you know what? They couldn't make suits that good at that time. I mean, they just couldn't.
Yeah.
That one actually looks truly legitimate. This was taken in Northern California as well. So, again, see, I if you look at all the sightings, they have sightings all over the place. I don't
Right.
think it's an accident. I don't think it's an accident that most Bigfoot sightings happen in Washington State. They have over 700 sightings of Bigfoot in Washington State, over 450 in California.
Wow.
But I've talked to people who lived in Ohio, who've done Bigfoot hunts in Ohio,
Mhm.
and they said that there's the Bigfoots in Ohio as well. To me, it's like that's just it's too populated there. I really would want to see a lot more evidence, but this right here,
Yeah.
it looks truly legit.
You've seen my paranormal shows, and I always lean towards the I don't think so. I don't think so. This is definitely the hardest one that we have seen for sure tonight for me to say no. I have an explanation for that. The first one, we had the dog that didn't react. The second one, I'm like, man, it's running on all fours. It might be a bear. It might be something else. This one right here, like I don't have much. It's two things with it. One, it's old, right? Two, it's a steady cam for once. Like whoever was filming this didn't freak out, and you can actually watch it move, as opposed to look at that, oh my God, shake, 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 take off the other way,
Right.
of the stuff that I've seen. This is fantastic. I think that this video is absolutely fantastic. I do. All right, let's see what they've got to say. I see a couple people welcoming Adrian. Let's see. Russell said it's Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. I don't know, man. I think this predates Harry even, for sure. Val said this one is a tad harder to say no way to. I agree, Val. I do agree. And I mean, the more I'm looking at this,
I think what plays into it too is how short it was. 59 seconds. I mean, to me, that would be about right. Because you sitting there looking at it, you see a Bigfoot, or creature run across. You're not going to be sitting there and just watching it, or like for 5 minutes. You're going to see it, you're going to react to it, and then you're probably going to get the hell out of there.
Right.
And that's the feeling you get when you watch this. Like, I see this, I got it on camera, but I don't want to stick around to shake his hand.
100%, man. If I put myself in that situation, just thinking about it right now, I would probably be in shock for 59 seconds before I could do anything. Are my eyes seeing what my eyes are seeing? Let me look at it through the camera, because that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Wayne is saying it's 59 years old. Wow. Jerry said that was at Bluff Creek, wasn't it? Is that where?
Yeah, I'm not. That sounds familiar. All I know is in Northern California. My grandparents had a ranch in Northern California. I used to spend summers at,
Mhm.
and in the Sierra Nevadas. And back then, that place was vast and unpopulated as well. I mean, you could go, from my grandparents' ranch, you could go 50 miles any way and not run into another human being.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, man. There's a part of me that sounds like a dream, to be that far away from everyone. The older I get, the more I want to be secluded. But the last thing I want to do is walk out after breakfast on my, front porch and I've got Bigfoot running through my front yard. It's just like, oh, well, maybe we should move a little closer to some civilization for sure. Russell's saying it definitely looks legit. Wayne is saying a Bigfoot. Russell says he had to be nervous taking that. Yeah, I would be. I would be. Wayne said 59 seconds, now 59 years old. Is that a coincidence, Patrick?
That could be interesting to look into. That sounds like some Area 51 shit right there.
Does. That's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down. That's a whole nother.
Right.
That's a whole nother. The Shapes in the chat, James is here saying all these new 4K cameras out there, you'd think someone would take a better picture than these sloppy photos. Well, James, unfortunately, this one, buddy, is 59 years old. So for 59 years old, I think that's a good shot. I do. What's up, buddy? I hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Wayne said, how about Schitt's Creek? It's whew. Whew.
I think you'd be up Schitt's Creek if the Bigfoot saw you and decided to come over and say hi.
Yeah, you'd be up Schitt's Creek if he just stopped and turned around. I'd see what my 40 time was at 48 years old. I bet you'd be a little faster than I thought it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee that. All right. So there that one is. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4 here. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
Clip was filmed on January 3rd, 2011. A family went hiking up in the mountains so that they could go sledding. The man filming didn't even notice anything was wrong when filming, but weeks later, when he rewatched the footage, he noticed something unsettling. 3 separate Bigfoot sightings. In the first sighting, you'll see a Bigfoot walking into the trees in the background.
I got you. Nice.
In the second sighting, you'll see a Bigfoot watching them, observing, stalking.
Not
Go ahead.
stalking.
Somebody. Nice.
In the third clip, you can see the Bigfoot running away.
Good. You all right? That was a nice little wipeout.
The person who filmed the clip believes the figure in the third sighting could be injured. But this all seems like consistent Bigfoot behavior. Stalking, hiding, and when frightened, running on all fours.
Oh,
Like in the previous video, it also moves very fast on all fours. Are you convinced? This clip
I don't know, man. So it did bring up the all fours on a Bigfoot.
And I believe that's actually legitimate because none of them actually give away. And let's watch the family. If you watch the family, the kids are not excited. They're not laughing. They're not giggling. They're playing. The parents are also focused on the kids. Now, if you're going to tell them that, hey, we're going to set up a clip and make it a phony and have fun with it, I think you couldn't keep that contained. The kids would laugh and giggle and you could definitely tell that they're part of the joke. But the fact is that none of those people saw the Bigfoot. That's that's interesting to me. No reaction to it because they didn't know it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're using for us to see it, they're blowing up the footage, but when you watch it regular, this person is filming them sledding. It's not filming Bigfoots,
Right.
so the camera is not even acknowledging that they're there. It's just on the family itself. So it is tough because it is far away, but they do a good job at zooming in best they can for the quality of camera that they have, or the video that they have for it.
I like the cameraman, the fact that what really impressed me was the fact, again, it's like they're not making a lot of noise. They're not yelling and pointing out. And it's like, it's almost like they said, it's almost like, they went home, they went and looked at it, and it was like, oh, holy crap, look what we saw,
Right.
and yeah, it's an interesting piece of that's an interesting piece of film. Definitely, I'm definitely on board that it's a good possibility it could be a Bigfoot. I'd just like to know where they were at when they filmed it.
Yeah, he didn't really say where they were. At least I don't remember. But
No,
yeah, that means 3 and 1 too. So not only did they, catch something in the background, they there's 3 of them up there. So let's just say that it is real, right? They're traveling together.
Well, the one thing I would have liked to seen though, I would have liked to seen the cameraman, like maybe go up there, wait for like 20, 30 minutes, just wait and
Yeah.
see what happens, but then go up there and take a picture of the footprint that was up there. That would have helped a lot, is to establish what he saw.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they said at the beginning of the video that he didn't notice it until weeks later when he
Yeah.
watched the video. So I don't know if he would be able to do that. But yeah, you're right. Ultimately, going back to, what I'm very familiar with doing with the paranormal is now I would probably, I would probably not do this. But what I would like to see is for when people to see it, to follow it with the camera. Now, again, I'm not the one either in paranormal or this to do that. But ultimately, you would like to see, them actually follow, what's going on to see what happens. In this case, it's a wild animal, assuming that it's real, and it's probably gonna, Bugs Bunny style pound you into the ground like you're a nail. Like it's no way. But yeah, if this one for me, I'm kind of 50-50 on. I love the fact that, it wasn't acknowledged whatsoever, like we talked about. It was something caught in the background, but for me, it's just a little too far away to tell whether it was a Bigfoot or a person. I couldn't really tell. But I mean, even if it's a person, that's scary. Why are they watching this family? You know what I mean? Like, well,
Right.
what's going on with that? Like, I'd be more concerned, especially with that. But yeah, another good footage. I still think the footage on number 3 is the best so far.
Yeah.
The old one, but still good. Still good. Let's see what everybody is saying in the chat. Let me get back. Oh, Jerry, thank you so much, buddy. He gifted 1 Movies and Beyond membership. Jerry, it means the world to me when you guys do that. Thank you a million times over, my friend. A million times. Thank you so much. Jerry, hell yeah, man. Hell freaking yeah. Let's see. James is saying, how could they not see that? It's in clear sight. Yeah, but I mean, it's behind them. I don't know. I think that the video, did a lot of zooming in with that, James, to where it wasn't, so much the way it was filmed, but more after the tape of them, zooming up, making that look closer than it was. But I don't know. Val said, yeah, nope, that could just be a person. It's too far away. It is kind of far away to tell. And Wayne said that same thing right below. Way too far away to tell for sure. Russell said, I'm not going to find out. I can guarantee you that. Guarantee that. Wherever that is, you will not see me riding my sled there for sure. Val is saying the figure does not seem way tall or have any weird movements and such. Okay.
Right. He did stand pretty much straight, like he didn't bend over like but then again, the one that we saw beforehand, he didn't bend over either. He was walking pretty much straight up, straight. And as far as the person being far away, well, in effect, the fact of the matter is that we saw him so well defined that far away. It tells you that he has size on him. I mean, you could definitely tell he's not a small person. And if you got up there, if you walk up there closer, I mean, he looks to be about the same size as the people on the sleighs, and yet here he is up the top of the hill, and he has that same size as the adults down here. He's bigger. He's much bigger than the people that he's filming. So, I mean, I think if he was really small and being, if he looked as small as a child, that would be more accurate. But the fact that he was big, I mean, you could see him from the waist up, and you can see how tall he was. I don't know. I think I'm 50-50 with you too. I think it's a possibility.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Russell said it could have been a hiker, possibly. James is along the same line, saying could have been a man. Wayne said looks like a drunk person that fell over, got back up, and stumbled away. Sometimes you gotta drink on that mountaintop during the daytime or on that hill. Like I get it, man. Ghost face in the snow. Oh yeah. Maybe the one I saw, Russell. Okay. Or maybe it's the same one. Michelle said it's probably the same one going back and forth. Maybe. It might be. I don't know. Russell said it looked like he took a wrong turn. And of course, Jerry said, wrong turn. Yeah, Jerry's coming up with that. The wrong turn. Hell yeah. Michelle says the thing about number 3 is it's very convincing, but why isn't there any info on the original filmer? There must be something somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Patrick had to fill me in on number 3 there for sure. Definitely did. Wayne says way too far away to tell. Michelle's saying she can chat for a few minutes. That's what I'm talking about. It kept going, so they're good. Yeah, it did head off. Michelle saying, hi, Patrick. James is saying, how come nobody's ever taken a picture from a drone? That way you can't get near it without fear of being attacked by it. Yeah. It's fair.
That's the technology question again. Like we use, with the Loch Ness Monster, is like the tech is there now to. That's why when they, I was reading, they're saying they're sitting there going like, how many Bigfoots are there? And this is the part that really sort of threw me like, but they're trying to sit there and say the Bigfoot Research Organization was trying to claim that there was anywhere between 2,000 to 6,000 Bigfoot. That's impossible. There's just no way they could keep hidden that long with those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
But I could see a much smaller community, but I'm with you too about the drone technology. If you saw a sighting of a Bigfoot and within 24 hours, your team was there and running drones, I think you would actually find proof, clear, definitive proof. But then again, at the Bigfoot wood inside, the Canadian woods, those woods are so thick there, I don't think you could even get a drone to look down. I think they could hide underneath the canopy of trees. So I think a drone would still be ineffective in a densely wooded area, but definitely would have spotted an open area like the snow Bigfoot. You definitely could use drones to spot him.
Yeah.
He's out in the open.
Right. Yeah, I agree 100%. Michelle said, wasn't it running on all fours though? Yeah, and we saw that with video number 2? I think.
One was 2. He was running on 4 and number 1.
Yeah. That's freaking crazy. Jerry's also saying go over to Patrick's channel and hit the subscribe button. He's giving the link over there. So make sure you go over and give Patrick a sub if you haven't already. Great content over there for sure.
Yeah. Of all my content, I don't have any Bigfoot content.
Hey, well, it's time to get some, my man. It is definitely time to get some for sure. Wayne says, I know drunk people that run on all fours once they fall over. It's possible. That's possible.
Yes, it's more than possible. I've seen those too.
Jeff D'Angelo has entered the chat saying, hey, everybody, what's up, Jeff? I hope you're doing good, my man. Good to see you, brother. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Jeff is a skeptic. He says that Bigfoot is not real.
He is throwing it out there. He is.
There's video. So far, we looked at some video evidence that could prove otherwise.
Yeah, it's possible, man. Anything's possible. He's also saying, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the first ever picture was taken back in the 70s, was actually a guy in a costume that Morris Costumes made. Well, but the video was from the 50s, right, Patrick? The
one from the one in 1967. That was taken in 1967. I don't think the suits were nearly as advanced then as now. I mean, that's what really makes it really. It's probably the most, like I said, it's probably it's the most famous clip of Bigfoot. I just don't see how that suit could have lasted for any length of time to make the suit like that. I mean, it didn't look like a suit at all. At all. It looked totally legit. That is an interesting clip.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't heard anything about it being, declared a hoax. It could be a hoax. I mean, every single one of these could be a hoax.
Yeah.
But based on what we're seeing,
right.
I mean, we got to go with you got to go with what your eyes tell you, and it looks legitimate.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 3, especially for me, that's the one that where if you were like, hey, prove to me this isn't real. Like I could say little things about the other ones, you know what I mean? But that one I'm still having a tough time with to say 100% that's not it. All right, you ready to move on to number 5?
Sure.
Let's do it. All right, let's see what they got on number 5 for us.
Clip comes from a woman and her husband Target shooting at an unknown location in the woods. They observed a helicopter was hanging around and moving in the area overhead, and they were very annoyed with it disturbing their peace and quiet. It was only when they went back and watched the footage that they realized the helicopter might have been chasing something.
Whoa. Whoa, that was a big kick. You okay, Brock?
There's a strange figure running in the background, and the helicopter soon left in the direction of the Bigfoot. It's possible this Bigfoot was stalking the family and got frightened when the shots rang out. Especially when the shotgun was brought out. The Bigfoot flees soon after. Towards the end of the clip, you can see the Bigfoot move to all fours, like in the previous sightings. Could we be seeing behavioral trends in how Sasquatch flees when frightened?
It's definitely big as shit.
This next clip comes from the popular.
That's not human either. I mean that thing is running. I don't know.
It is definitely moving out for sure. I don't know. I don't know. That's big. Like we talked about distance. You know what I mean? Like it's big.
He's big.
I don't know, man. I mean, that guy looks kind of tall there. Maybe he's got a taller older brother. I mean, it's just running into. I don't know. Then what's with the helicopter? I don't understand that either.
Right. I mean, you would think that if it was any sort of like news chopper or police chopper or ranger chopper, they would have, a megaphone, and if they saw something like that, that they would fly over and sit there and say, like be on the lookout, be careful.
Yeah.
And I don't think Bigfoot stalk anything. If anything, I think a Bigfoot is just, a pure. If it's a carnivore, it's only going to hunt, animals. There's never been a Bigfoot attack. As far as that goes, there's never been on record someone been attacked that said, "Yeah, I got attacked by Bigfoot." It's always been a bear. So I don't think that they're into humans as far as stalking goes. It's not what they hunt. So I don't believe that at all. And I do think it would run it would run from both the helicopter and the shotguns.
Yeah. It's tough to say. You watch a video like this and it's just like you can see some of the things to support it and some of the things to where it's like, I don't really know. It just seems like you're never going to get that 4K quality image, but even today, right? So let me flip that a little bit. Even today, if you were to snap a real Bigfoot with your phone and immediately share it to Instagram, like, holy shit, I just saw Bigfoot. How many comments would you get that say AI?
Oh, 100%.
So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation with that. Because
in fact, you can actually sit there and make a case that, for a lot of animals, a lot of Bigfoots too. I mean, AI is his best friend, because the simple fact that, you tell people I saw Bigfoot, and that's the first thing, I have proof, and there's no one's going to believe them. So no one's going to sit there and say, wow, that is a Bigfoot. I'm going to get myself a hunting party together. I'm going out tomorrow too. And next thing you know, you get all these people going where a Bigfoot was sighted. But now you won't necessarily get that. You'll get like people going, okay, that's AI. That's a good one. But they're not going to believe what you're showing them.
You will literally have to kill one or capture it at this point, because it doesn't matter. Like, James earlier, you brought up, why aren't there any 4K images? Well, it's like, I guarantee, even if there were, which I would love to see, like you would, there's still going to be people that, I guarantee that 90% of the comments are going to say something about AI. You will literally have to capture one, have it in a cage, and show it to people. Even then, that's a guy in a suit. It's like, it's probably not. Stick your hand in there. Let's see if it's a guy in a suit. Let's just really see what happens. But freaking crazy. Absolutely.
Put some barbecue sauce in your arm and stick it through the bars.
Stick a piece of beef jerky in there and let's find out what happens.
Give him a Slim Jim.
Let's find out. Let's see. Penrill's in the chat. What's up, Gus, man? How you doing, brother? He's saying Bigfoot is real. I got you, man. I got you.
All right.
He is there. He's also saying, but no way you don't see that mofo walking out. He said that was big, and you'd have probably seen his big ass running over there for sure. I guarantee that. I guarantee. Val said that's a criminal being chased by a police helicopter. It's very possible. It might be. It might be. Wayne said that clip is even worse.
Lady Valerie might have a point there.
Because somebody running from the cops. James says, with that shotgun going off, probably scared a bum out of the area. That's a big bum. Russell says Bigfoot alien. That's just there's Ghostfoot. Now there's aliens. Like Bigfoot is merging with other things, and it's fantastic. Pernell said I might take a second shot toward the beast. I don't know if they even saw it, did they? Like from the video?
I don't think they saw. I think they, based on where you froze it right there. Yeah. I mean, they're still. I mean, I don't think they could run and chase after it, and I wouldn't run and chase after it with just a shotgun either. I want something a little bit more stopping power.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not going to hit it with a shotgun from there.
No,
Like
you have to get real close. You have to get real close to do the damage needed to stop a Bigfoot.
Yeah. You might piss it off if you hit it with anything, for sure. Wayne said it was The Fugitive. That's a good movie. That's a good movie. Russell says fugitive stalking a family and the helicopter scared him. Or that gun. Or that freaking gun. Jeff said there's also no face-to-face up-close images, never been bones found or even legit hair found. As far as I know, that's fair. That is fair. Let's see. Wayne saying it's not clear enough, and he's saying AI. Jeff said with computer technologies, there's too many ways to make you think you're seeing something that you're not. Case in point, paranormal activity movies. Yeah. Let's see. Australia had the most human deaths by sharks last year. Yeah, dude, I've always heard that. I've always heard Australia.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job this year too.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, look, man. I've always
3 dead, three Australians in 1 week. Like, holy crap.
Wow. You know, the comedian Bill Burr did a skit years ago where he was talking about shark attacks. He did a bit about it, comedian, and he talked about stats, right? He said stats are stupid, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's just like, all of your facts, go off of stats. Like, well, the statistics say this. Statistics say this. He goes, you can swim out in the middle of the ocean. You have no worries about being attacked by a shark because statistically, you're more likely to get eaten in 3 feet of water than you are out in the middle of the ocean. Because that's where all the shark attacks happen in like 3 feet of water. Right. But, and he went on to say, and it's 100% true, that's where all the people are. Like the amount of people that are in 3 feet of water in the ocean versus out there swimming in the middle of nowhere. I feel like you're a worm on a hook out there, man, for a shark. And just because there's not thousands and thousands of people daily out in the middle of the ocean versus, on the beach within 3 feet of water or less to where most of shark attacks happens. Yes, statistically, you're more likely to get bitten by a shark there, but statistically, that's where all the people are. So I don't think that you're any safer, even though statistics say so. You know what I mean? It's just that's where all the people are. I don't know how you guys got me talking about sharks in the chat. You derailed me. You derailed me. That's what you do. Oh my God. All right, dude. Let's move on to number 6. Let's see what we got here.
This next clip comes from the popular Eagle Cams, a site which watches baby eagles and checks in on their growth and progress for viewers. It is run by the State Department of Natural Resources. In the clip, the camera accidentally catches a Bigfoot wandering through the woods. While the eagles do their thing, the creature suddenly appears. The camera is near the Platte River State Fish Hatchery. The fact that this clip is from such a legitimate source is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Some think a person in a suit could have found the camera, but with the terrible camera quality, it's hard to determine either way.
Before going into the next sighting, we'd like to remind everyone.
All right. So this is interesting, Patrick. It's interesting where it got caught and how it got caught, on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you were talking about Canada, it's close. It is up there.
Yeah.
It's very
not
north.
That far. That looks interesting. And the fact about it is that no one would know you're saying it's a man in a suit or it's a hoax or whatever. The fact of the matter is, they don't know. They don't know that they have a camera on them from the bird.
Yeah.
There's no there is this one version of it with one camera, and then here we got proof from a trail camera. There is no trail camera. There's this camera right here. And not too far away from Canada either.
Yeah.
And we don't know how Bigfoot can swim, because you got to think about it. Polar bears can swim for hours. They can swim for hours in the ocean. So we don't know what a Bigfoot's capabilities are at. Could it swim across the St. Lawrence? Could it swim across a lake? Interesting question.
It is definitely an interesting question for sure. Let me go ahead and back this up because this is our next
As you
one.
can see,
Yeah.
they got a lot of Bigfoot merchandise.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna go ahead and share that for sure. But yeah, man, like does the video clearly show Bigfoot in my mind? No. But here's where my mind is going. Okay. My mind is that looks like it's out in the middle of nowhere. Who the hell knows there's a camera there? And why the hell would you go through all that trouble to be out in the middle of nowhere in a Bigfoot suit?
Yeah. I mean, come on. Who does that?
Yeah.
I mean, who would do that? I mean, and why not, better tech camera, yeah, it's just the fact that it's a hoax. There's not any evidence of that being a hoax. It looks like it's legitimate. There'd be a lot more footage if it was a hoax. That's the thing too. If it's a hoax, it's actually going to probably be a little bit more clear, a little bit more dramatic, But this right here, it's just like the third one. It's out in the wild. They don't know you're there. They don't know you're there, and they're just living their life, and we just caught them on camera.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, man. Like, trust me, skeptically, from, the people saying, like, it's not real. It's not fair. But at the same time, it's like, why would you be out in the middle of nowhere dressed like that for a camera that's pointed at a nest in a tree out in the middle of freaking nowhere to where you don't know that thing's actually going to catch you? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's nuts. And I just don't see the reasoning in doing so. But who knows? Who freaking knows? Let's see what everybody's got to see. A lot of guys still talking about sharks. Oh my God. James is saying very poor photography. Yeah, but it's a camera pointed at an eagle. What did they say? An eagle's nest? Is that what that was?
Right. Eagle's nest.
Yeah. Jerry said, my luck, I'd wear a costume and somebody would shoot me. There's that too, right? You're not going to catch me in a Bigfoot suit trying to fake people out, especially if there's people with like shotguns out there. I am not trying to get shot with a shotgun out in the middle of nowhere too.
That was taken in northern Michigan, and I can tell you from experience that the people up in northern Michigan, they're a bunch of deer hunters. And no, you would not want to be walking around in a Bigfoot outfit around those guys.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just tough, man. It's definitely tough for sure. Wayne is saying hard to tell. It is hard to tell with that one for sure. And I mean, here's the way that I look at this, Patrick. You're gonna have people that no matter what they don't believe, right? You could show them a Bigfoot in person and they'd be like, it's not real. Then you have the people that believe anything that they freaking see. Like, oh, that's Bigfoot. There's proof right there. That's Bigfoot. And then there's people that are somewhat in the middle that are just like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like you're 50-50 on a lot of stuff. The ones that are fake, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a guy in a suit, or that's definitely a bear, or that's definitely, something else, right? But you'd be open to being like, hey, technically that's a possibility. It could be something. So I feel like there's three camps when it comes to it's very much like paranormal stuff. There's it's the same way with a lot of
Right.
stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. I think we are on number 7. Let's see what we got for number 7.
This clip comes from a man camping with his friends in Provo Canyon. While there, they believe they saw Bigfoot. According to them, they were trying to film some deer they saw in the distance when they came across a bear. Except it stood up. They then turned and ran, leaving their camping equipment and everything else behind. The group was interviewed on their local Fox station and explained.
Along with that, people are like, well, maybe there's just some guy in a gorilla suit out there scaring people. And we're like, up there right now, I guess it's deer hunting season. So there's tons of hunters everywhere up there. So we highly doubt that there's anyone up there hiding in a gorilla suit with all these hunters all over the place.
They aren't believers, but they knew that wasn't a bear. This clip comes from a couple hiking near the lakes.
All right, so here's the thing with this one for me. If Michael was ever in the woods and saw a Bigfoot with a camera, that's going to be the footage you're going to get from me too. So I can't be mad at them for shooting something, saying, holy shit, and running the other way if they think it's Bigfoot, because it's as aggravated as shaky cam footage can be, as aggravated as people be like, no, fuck that, and taking off running. Guaranteed. That's what I'm doing. I am so sorry, but guaranteed you're going to get the ground, the sky, the ground, the sky, as my arm is running like this and me running in the other. You're lucky I got the camera with me, and it's probably only because it's super expensive. So I can't be mad at them. And he brought up a good point, Patrick. He said, they were out there deer hunting, and there were all types of people out there deer hunting. Why would someone in their right mind be in a suit that looked like Bigfoot around a bunch of deer hunters? Where it's like, Jimmy, get the gun, let's take it down. You know what I mean? Because more than likely, that's going to be the type of people that are out there. It's not usually just one guy out there with a gun. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 that are going hunting. And what better way, would it be to come home, expecting deer, and you bring home a Bigfoot?
Exactly. The fact that and tells you, they saw that, if it was just a plain bear, I'm thinking to themselves, there's more than just one of them out there. I've seen where 2 guys, actually 3, they're being stalked by a grizzly bear, and they couldn't outrun the grizzly bear at all. So what they did was they got to the highest point possible, and they went back to the old Civil War type of firing. They had one guy on his knee, one guy behind him, and one guy behind him. And then the guy from the front, when the bear came, the guy from the bottom shot first. As he's reloading, the second guy is looking, and if the bear still comes, he shoots. As he starts reloading, the first guy is almost already done, because with the deer rifle, it's you have to cock it manually. And then the guy in the third, he shoots. He waits for 10, 20 seconds, then he shoots. So they have a continuous rate of fire on that bear. The bear is not going to reach them at all with the stopping power. So, they could have easily had sat down and did something like that and got what they could have shot down whatever that was. But the fact of the matter is, they were scared. Yeah. Whatever they saw scared them enough to make them run. And it gives you, it gives you like, I'm not sure if there's even any grizzly bears in Utah. I know they have black bears, but I'm not sure if they have grizzlies there or not. But they turned it and they ran. They thought that what they saw was a Bigfoot. And their behavior acts like it too.
Yeah. Like I told you, if it was me, you'd be seeing the same thing, I told you, I'd be gone, I've always, I don't know, that was actually very smart of those hunters with that bear, to do it the way they did, because you're not going to outrun a grizzly. You're not. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
Those things are freaking no, they're fast. Let's see
And,
what everybody's
and I mean, yeah, and the thing about it is, what's really scary about bears is they can smell your scent. And it's weird because I've seen this on trail cams. The person will set up a trail cam. It'll rain. Animals will come by and not even give it a second thought. Not even a second thought. A bear
Yeah.
will come by a week later and go straight to the cam and sniff because he still smells you. That's what's terrifying about bears. Is
Yeah.
that they once they got you in their nose,
Mm.
you better be able to get out of there, or you're not going to get out of there.
Can't bears smell you from like miles away too?
Yeah, they certainly can.
Yeah, like that's another thing that's scary. You know, I've always heard, and I'm no expert when it comes to bears by any means, but I always heard that, you know, polar bears are the most vicious, you know, but how often are you going to find yourself in a polar bear situation, right? I'm not going to Alaska anytime soon on a boat near an iceberg, like not happening. But also, you know, Kodiak bears and grizzly bears are definitely ones to not get into their areas for sure, because I think was a Kodiak bear is the one that will literally hunt you, like it will follow you, and
that or regular grizzly, you know, will do that too.
yeah, no way.
I mean, you know, black bears aren't no slouches. I mean,
yeah,
but the speed of bears, that's what people. I think that's what gets people more than anything else. Is
Yeah.
the fact that they're so damn fast. I mean,
and you wouldn't expect them to be.
No, you turn on the tube, and there's one out there. The one that really like was shocking was the one where this bear's running after this elk, and this elk had at least, not even kidding you, it had to have at least a mile or more lead, and that bear chased it down. It chased it down. It didn't slow down. It was like a Terminator. It didn't slow down. It didn't stop, and it just kept coming.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, and the elk, you know, it's running, and it decides it's going to go inside of a lake. You know,
Right.
I'm gonna swim. I'm gonna, you know, the bear still falls straight in. It was just, it's really something to see. And then the other one with the guys with the 3 rifles, you know, that is actually, they set up a camera for that, and that's what they did. You could see all 3 guys, and they knew that they had run as far as they could get. They knew they weren't going to outrun it. That's why they turned to fight.
Yeah.
And they're just lucky they had, you know, deer rifles with them instead of, you know, bow and arrows.
Right.
And they might wound the bear, but that'll make it more dangerous. But they had, you know, but the bear chased them down by scent alone. Bears are no laughing matter.
Hell yeah. Hell freaking yeah, man. I see that Paula's in the chat saying, I love Scary Movie 6. Well done. Well done. I have not seen it. I have not seen it yet. Jeff said, What's that?
Did you see Backrooms yet?
No, I haven't, or Obsession yet. I'm behind. Like not yet. Hopefully soon. I'll check them out. Jeff said, I'm someone, what camp number 1 until I see it face to face or undeniable proof. Nope, he doesn't exist. And that's fair, man. That is definitely fair. Let's see. James said, shoot. Damn, you missed. You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. That reminds me of that movie Bull Durham a little bit. You remember Bull Durham?
Oh, yeah.
He said, hit me in the chest with this, meat. He goes, I could kill you. He goes, from what I hear, you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a fucking boat. Such a good line, man. Such a good line. Penrose saying Mountain Monsters was a show who had some Bubbas running through the woods shooting at things and stuff. It was the most hilarious thing I've seen in a while.
Bubbas.
I freaking love it, man. I love it. Let's see. Jerry's saying for only $1 a month, you can join Movies and Beyond on Patreon. He provides a link. Yes, for only $1 a month. That's $12 a year. You can get a whole bunch of extra content over on Patreon. If you are not getting enough Michael on YouTube, God help you. You can go over to Patreon and get some more. I can do some stuff over there I really can't do on YouTube. So go over and check it out if you want. for sure. And he's also throwing the link up for the Movies and Beyond gear. You can go ahead and go over there and get some. I definitely need to update that with a few things. I think I'm going to do that soon. Let's see. Grizzly bears will attack you in your tent. Yeah, dude. Like, no. I don't need to get attacked by a grizzly bear for sure. No way. No freaking way. Peter Anthony from Peter Anthony Productions is in the building saying, "What's up, man?" And fam, what is up, my man? Peter, I hope you are doing well, sir. I saw on Instagram it was your birthday not too long ago, bro. Happy birthday, my man. I hope your birthday was fantastic, bro. Happy birthday. And good to see you, man. Good to see you, Bob. Penroll is saying breakfast burrito. Oh man, in your tent. If you're in your tent, you're a breakfast burrito for a grizzly. I like it, man. I like it. Let's see. James is saying you don't mess with bears. You better have a high-powered rifle or a high caliber handgun on you in case you run into one. Dude, I don't
my money would be on the shape.
Yeah. Oh shit. It's James. Just bring your mask and your knife, dude, and you'll be good. You got this. You got it, man. Paula saying, "Nice to see you." Nice to see you too, Paula. Hope you're doing well. Russell said they say to play dead. I mean, dude, you really don't have a whole lot of options. It's yeah. All right, man. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see what they got for us.
Afraid family.
This clip comes from a man camping with his friends in Provo
I think I
Canyon.
rewound it without
This clip comes from a couple knew
There we
that
go.
wasn't a bear.
All right.
This clip comes from a couple hiking near the lakes in Mission, BC. They were taking photos when they suddenly spotted it on the hill. This camera actually isn't too terrible in quality. With some zoom, they spotted a clearly hairy bipedal ape. The creature walks around the hill, swings its arms, and seems preoccupied. Do you think this is a Sasquatch? This video comes from a man living in the woods deep in...
Damn, they just don't even give you like any transaction there in between scenes. It's just like, do you think it's a Sasquatch?
Yeah. Play that clip all the way out. I want to see where he lives at.
Oh, okay.
The lakes in Mission, BC. They were taking
Mission, BC, British
Yes.
Columbia.
photos
right.
when they suddenly spotted it on the hill. This camera actually isn't too terrible in quality. With some zoom, they spotted a clearly hairy bipedal ape. The creature walks around the hill, swings its arms, and seems preoccupied. Do you think this is a Sasquatch?
Do you think that is a Sasquatch? It looked pretty big to me, Patrick.
Yeah, it looks big to me.
I mean,
And it does fit the Canada narrative.
it's kind of along the lines of, supporting what you were saying, in location wise anyway, of that being a possibility. Like it was pretty big, man. Like I can't get over the size of it. Like that's the thing. Like, we talk a lot about, like people in suits. It's like, where are they getting these giant motherfuckers?
Yeah.
They're putting in these suits that are so
somehow
damn big.
I just can't see myself, seeing Kane Hodder do this, dressed up in a suit.
Well, hell, even Kane Hodder's not that big, man. I mean, hell, Kane Hodder's 6 foot on a good day. Realistically, up close, he's 6 foot on a good day. That thing, I mean, I'm no expert at size, but I mean, that thing's got to be close to 7 feet tall.
I don't know, and I don't know any other. I don't know any. I mean, even if that was out in the wild, I can't even imagine what kind of reserve that would be big enough to support an ape. I mean, you got to have other than I'm trying to think of right now. I mean, you have monkeys in zoos.
Yeah.
But I don't know about monkeys in wildlife preserves like that. I think that would be incredibly dangerous to have that much give that much space to an ape.
Yeah.
You know, for so I'm not really buying that. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely got the size. It definitely has the territory. Again, I mean, who's to say that isn't a Bigfoot?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tough for sure. I mean, it's just like you know, I talked before about, you know, where are they finding, you know, these giant people, you know what I mean, to get in these suits. And it's like, well, what did Yao Ming do since he's retired from the NBA? Like, it's literally Yao Ming in a suit right there. Like, that's a tall person. That is a very tall person for sure. But like I said, you know, we can point out, you know, those things, but at the end of the day, we really can't tell, you know, due to they were saying this camera's higher quality. I'm like, yeah, but the cameraman sucks. You know what I mean? Because
And he's far away too.
all over the place, you know, like
I mean, yeah, he could be standing outside a preserve, you know, a reserve. That could be a animal reserve, and he's standing outside of a fence. I mean, who's to say? You know,
yeah, it's definitely tough to say. Let's see what we got in the chat. What are they saying? Val is saying we see black bears from time to time up at the lake house in Tomahawk. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, your money'd be on the shape, especially if he was in his space suit. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Penrell said, now that thing is huge. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the first things I noticed, Gus, was the thing was so damn big, right? I mean, that's freaking Yao Ming in a gorilla suit. Like, that's pretty big. Russell says, what on earth?
Or did Andre really die? Because after all, Andre did play a Bigfoot.
He was in The Princess Bride. That I know.
And he was also in the $6 million Man.
Oh, I didn't know that. Let's see, you're teaching me stuff there. Hell yeah. James said, damn, get a better zoom lens. I'm pretty sure it was a cell phone. And they were trying to make it bigger because that's why the camera was. I'm guessing, right? That's where I'm at with that. Wayne said, in this case, BC equals bull crap. Saying it's too blurry and vague. I gotcha. Russell said that's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Let's see what else they got for us. Let's see. We got number 9 coming up here.
This is a Sasquatch. This video comes from a man living in the woods deep in Kentucky. He claims he has had...
Damn, they're in Kentucky too?
Yeah, I'm not believing that one already.
I'm telling you, man. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
that's probably one of his relatives.
You know, like, I'm sorry.
From a man living in the woods deep in Kentucky. He claims he has had multiple encounters with Bigfoot, like creatures. And early in the morning before heading to work, he captured one on camera. The video quality doesn't immediately make me a believer, but perhaps someone living deep in the Kentucky woods isn't a big tech person. The figure is massive and seems inhuman. The last clip of this episode comes from...
I don't know.
Lady Valerie said it perfectly. She says all kinds of things in the backwoods of Kentucky. Yeah, I pretty much exactly my point of view too. It's like I see it more probably as a family member than I do a Bigfoot.
I
But
mean,
then
dude
again,
might be, he might be getting wrong turned. You know what I mean? Like, Jerry, where you at? I'm gonna say that it probably does apply here. Is yeah, that's I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't. Like, that's I have no idea.
I'm gonna say it's an uncle, maybe.
Where are my skinwalker people at in the chat? Where
My
where
first
is that at?
cousin on my mama's side.
Yeah. Oh shit. He's back out there, I'll tell you. Oh my god. It's freaking crazy. The chat, you guys are savage in the chat. I'm telling you right now. You guys are freaking savage. I swear to God. Dude, I mean, he doesn't look like he's doing so well, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It looks like, you know, somebody went out there and had some bad beans or something, because he does not look like he's doing so hot. You know, that is in Kentucky too. Like, literally.
He probably got into some moonshine.
He got into
he probably got a hangover.
he got into something, but he definitely doesn't look like he's doing so hot, whatever it is. For sure. Oh my god. All right, let me get into the chat. Because this is Russell said that's his cousin. I knew it was coming. There's the first comment right there. There it is. Russell. I was like Val, like you were saying, all kinds of things in the backwoods of Kentucky. That's fair. That is freaking fair. They got any chicken? KFC stuff. Oh my god, creepy Kentucky. There it is. Jerry said wrong turn. Yeah, that's more than likely there. That's a wrong turn scenario for sure. Like, I don't know what the hell is really going on there. But whatever it is, it's like I said, he didn't look so great. Wayne says looks like a cold couple struggling with each other with hoodies on. Dude, I didn't see that, but man, I love that vision that you got there, dude. For sure. Gus says that was just some big back having breakfast. God. Whatever that is, they're big. If that's a person, that is a large individual. For sure.
Maybe Shaq was visiting Kentucky.
Oh, good God, man. Good God. Russell said the abominable snowman. Yeah.
We got Yao meat. Well, we got Yao in there already. We get throwing Shaq.
There it is. You know, we've got all the retired centers in the NBA now in Bigfoot videos, because they need the larger people to do so, for sure. Yeah. I swear to God, that was the first thing I thought of that popped in my head when I said, who's wearing these costumes that they're fake? What is Yao Ming doing these days? Because that dude was like 7'7". I want to say he was like 7'7" or something ridiculous like that. And it would have to be somebody of that size wearing that costume.
The Great Khali, maybe.
Yeah, I remember the Great Khali. Val is saying, someone say skinwalker. I knew it was coming. I love it. I love it. Teal's in the chat. What's up, Teal? Hope you're doing well, my man. Good to see you. He's saying Harambe. Oh my God. There it is. There it is. James says it does look like an ape. It has a cone-shaped head like one. Dude, it's massive. Like, that thing is wide. Like, whatever, you know, realistically, whatever or whoever that is a big individual for sure. Skinwalkers are Bigfoot's cousin. All right, dude, we're putting them all together. Yeah,
I think the one that sort of bobbles this one is the fact that it says he's had several encounters with Bigfoot. And it's like, dude, if he had that many encounters, you really couldn't set up better camera footage. I mean, you know, like you couldn't. You just had the one camera you got from CBS. I mean, that's it. There's not like better. Yeah.
I 100% agree with you, Patrick. If I'm known as the guy in town that has seen Bigfoot multiple times, if I have, I'm not telling anybody till I get those cameras. I'm going to catch it. And then I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, now I'm the Bigfoot guy. But I'm gonna show you, what I found. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Teal says it's a Yeti. James?
Yeah, we haven't had any Yetis yet.
Oh God, I love the fact that James made Bigfoot plural. Big Feet love fried chicken down in Kentucky. They eat a bucket of it. Oh God, would that be the correct plural version of Bigfoot? Would it be Big Feet? Dude, I love that. Like, that's fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. Jeff says, see, this is what I'm talking about. How can anyone say, yes, every picture is so blurry and there's no way you can possibly identify? No, dude, this one, you are 100% right on that. 100% right. For sure. Oh, my God. All right, Patrick, we got one more for tonight. We got one more, and then we can go into some talk, and we can go over some statistics, and you have some facts, don't you? I can't wait to get
I have some Big Feet facts.
Yes, Big Feet. I love it. All right, let's.
The last clip of this episode comes from the YouTuber Ericus Maximus. He spots what he calls the Beast of Gum Hill. He makes ATV content and goes all throughout the woods on his channel. He has spotted the creature twice, supposedly, but this was the first time his friend and cameraman caught it on camera. He was thrilled to get it on camera and says that it is very rare to come across in the area. Do you think this is a Sasquatch or something else?
Do we think that's
I think he's the Sasquatch.
Like that's a tough one to say for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward again.
I think if it was a Bigfoot, it would at the noise that the guy's making, he would have lit out. He's not going to sit there and no.
It seemed to be very casual, Patrick.
Yeah.
It seemed to just be like he waved to him, like, "Hey, how's it going there, bub?" Like you come through here all the time.
Hi, paw.
Yeah, there's no rushing for that one. He literally was just like, it's been a rough day. Leave me alone. Like, I'm just gonna stroll through here. Yeah. I can't get behind that one.
I can't behind that one at all.
100%. Like I don't know.
That's the first one I could actually sit there and say that. Well, actually, the last two that I would sit there and say no to. But the other one that we saw there, possibilities. I couldn't just dismiss them out of hand, saying that because it couldn't, because there's no such thing as Bigfoot. Because you could actually make an argument for them, for all of them.
Yeah, and I mean that's the good thing. Like, I was surprised by the video because I just got the title, and I skimmed through to make sure the quality was decent for Bigfoot anyway. And then I got to watch all of this with you guys for the first time. And the one, I will say this though, the one with the ATV, I've seen that one before. So that one I have seen on another video that I was watching. So I was a little disappointed that was I was like, oh shit, I've seen that one already. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you're right, man. They all have the possibility to go either way. And I mean, we could have had 10 videos right here and none of them are real, or we could have had 10 videos to where 5 of them were real or 7 of them are real. You don't really know for sure 100%. All right.
I just think that in today's world, I just think in today's world with the technology that we have, and there's thousands of Bigfoot sightings every year, you would think someone would come up with a crystal clear. It says a lot that the best video is 59 years old.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Of all the tech we have now, no one's able to come up there with a it's just amazing that we can't get a clear shot of a Bigfoot.
I mean, I've seen going down, rabbit holes on YouTube like I do. I've seen people go out camping and they hear noises and stuff like knocks on trees, and it's just like, oh, Bigfoot knocks on trees. It's like, yeah, so do woodpeckers, and so do, there's a lot of things out there that knock on trees. Well, I hear branches break. It's like, yeah, well, like it's a lot of things that break branches out there. And then you hear like calls that are, unidentifiable, and, they don't know what it is. I feel like if I'm going out to hunt Bigfoot, like we talked about drones, I'm bringing drones with night vision and stuff like that to where I am monitoring those in the air, and looking at stuff like that. To where I understand that people don't always have the money for stuff like that, but there's got to be one rich Bruce Wayne somewhere that has nothing else to do that'll jump on YouTube and be like, you know what, I'm going to devote resources to seeing if Bigfoot's real or not, and goes out there with all these gadgets and finds out definitively, if there's something out there.
And that's interesting you say that, because you think about that when you did paranormal explorations yourself.
Yeah.
And you had tech for that. You had, EVP detectors and heat signatures and stuff like that. You guys have tech for your paranormal hunting. You would think after all this years, you would think that the cryptid community would come up with some sort of a definitive detector of a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of one, like a Bigfoot's temperature it's gotta be more than 98.6. Can't you use the heat signature to, if you see a Bigfoot and it's hotter than a regular human being, isn't there any way at all that you can detect what we're seeing?
Right.
And so far there hasn't been, and in today's world, that's sort of a killer,
Yeah.
I'm a cryptid hunter. Okay. Well, guess what? I could go inside my back right now and say I'm a cryptid hunter and come back and have nothing to show for it. But what's the difference between me and a real cryptid hunter?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any gear. We don't have any, we don't have any high tech. I mean, at least paranormal investigators, at least they have that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just say this. When we were investigating, yes, we had some stuff, right? But like, I'm not an investigator. I just happen to be talked into going to a place that I didn't really want to go. Right. Because that stuff, I'm very sensitive to that stuff, and it scares the shit out of me. Right. And we're in there and we download this app, right, that's supposed to hear voices. Right. So me
I
being
didn't hear that one. I didn't hear about that one.
Me being the person that I am, so I download the app, and a voice will pop up like demon or get out, or it'll say stuff. And so while I was there with Michelle, and I'm like, hey, turn your app on too. Let's put them side to side. So we put them side to side. My thing saying one, or my app saying one thing, hers is saying another. And I was like, well, I've immediately debunked this app, because if it is hearing something, then it should be hearing the same thing, right? Like that's what you would think, especially if they're right next to each other. So ultimately right there, if mine is saying something totally different than yours, it's not hearing something that was, consistent between the two. So immediately from that point, I was like, yeah, I don't want to rely on this, because to me, I feel like it's just saying random words at this point, because they're not the same. And I mean, I can understand one thing hearing one, and something else missing it, but there was not one time for like the couple minutes we were there holding it that they both said the same thing or went off at the same time. So it was just like, yeah, I don't want to, use this, because in my mind at this point, I don't feel like it's reliable, because we're not picking up the same stuff. So yeah, so gadgets are funny, at least the ones that I've seen in paranormal, between, whether they're legit or not. But I'm on board with you, man. Like that, there's got to be some way to detect heat signatures at night, or using more night vision to see things. And I understand that's expensive, and I just wish that someone would come along. But let me ask you this question, Patrick, because it's something that I've wondered, right? Let's say that Bigfoot is not real. Let's say that, okay? Do you think that the people who want to believe that Bigfoot is real will ever want anyone to find out that definitive proof that Bigfoot is not real?
I think I think if you talk to even the most dedicated cryptid hunter or paranormal person,
Mhm.
um, I think every one of them, with the cameras off and you're just sitting there with them alone, drinking a cup of coffee, I
Mhm.
think they would tell you that the chances of that, them not being real are, pretty high.
Mhm.
Um, you know, it's just a possibility of it. That's the beauty of it. It's
Yeah.
the possibility and the chance to hunt for something that could change the world. Um, but I mean, I think if most of them really looked hard and were being honest with themselves and at this point in time,
Mhm.
they think they would really have to admit that the chances are like you said, like 0.001% that
Yeah.
there's actually and I think that's okay. But what, I used to not really, I'll be honest with you, I used to not like the paranormal investigators. I just used to you know, biblically speaking, I just detested it. But I got to watch more and more of them work and talk to a few of them.
Mhm.
I just came to like, what, they really believe this.
Yeah.
They really believe what they believe. Like, even though they're, most of them are, especially the ones that go on TV or looking for a TV show, even though you can't take those guys seriously at all, and they do damage. It's like someone who set up a fake Bigfoot encounter,
Mhm.
and we find out it's 100% hoax. Let's
Yeah.
say that 159-year-old movie is a hoax.
Mhm.
Okay, that's just there's no reason there's I guess there's just no reason to do that.
Yeah.
It's just like you mess with a lot of people's feelings and with their belief systems and stuff like that. There's
Right.
no reason to do that. Um, and the same thing with paranormal. It's like and you see these guys they all do the same shit. Did you
Yep.
hear that? Who's there? It's like, wow, dude, you're not doing anything original, and all
Yep.
you're doing is you're just hurting the community.
Yep.
You're hurting all the real people out there who don't have your resources, who don't have your support, and they're out there on their own. Just
Yep.
out there because they believe.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong with destroying it.
100%, man. And I always say that too. And you've been to my paranormal shows where I talk about these things to where just because you can think of a way to fake something doesn't always mean that it's fake, right? If you were to see a shadow, right, and it clear as day, you see the shadow, and someone's like, well, that's easy to do. All you would have to do is put a light behind you and then walk in front of it, and you'll see a shadow, right? But you are the only person that knows whether or not that light was behind you and somebody else was walking across there, right? So just because you can recreate it doesn't always mean that something is fake, because at this point, Patrick, there's nothing that can't be recreated. And the people who do those things, all it does, you're right, 100%, is it hurts the legit people that are trying to find the answers to these
Right.
questions. And that's why I tend to look at these things more positive than negative, because I want those people to find what they are looking for. I want them to find their answers, and for the people that make that difficult for them to do and create that what would be the word, just create that situation for it hard for them to legitimize themselves as a serious hunter of whatever this is, because people are constantly making their stuff look bad. It sucks, man. It really does suck for them. It's bad. But so that's why I can relate with this stuff for sure.
I'm just taking a look at the shape. James is sitting there going, the only thing I've ever seen was as far as flying saucers, when my mom threw the saucers at me when I pissed her off in the kitchen. I've seen a few flying saucers that way too.
I think a bunch of us has, especially if you grew up in a certain time frame. Yeah, fishes fly. They definitely do fly for sure.
The paranormal aspect of it too is like, it's so funny. Is like, I mean, I think people tend to lose, logical thought when it comes down to things like the Bigfoot or supernatural entities and stuff like that. And it's like, if you look at it logically, and you think it out a little bit, and like with the Loch Ness monster as well. I think the answers become rather sharp and clear. Like the Loch Ness monster, that's the one. That's probably the one that to me is like the definitive. You really want to get an answer, that's the one. Because if they pulled out bones from Nessie from Loch Ness, you can count on one thing. I would be 1,000% convinced if they pulled Nessie out of bones out of the Loch Ness and they found bones and they found that she was there, I would 1,000% sit there and say, I tell you, I believe in a Bigfoot. I mean, if that's possible, if one thing is possible, endless possibilities.
Right. Yeah. I get it. Another thing too, and something that I've seen, come up on my feed lately is, I have a ton of stuff that comes up on my feed that has to do with paranormal because I'm constantly, looking for videos to put up on my show. And a lot of them coming up now are people who are debunking a lot of the videos that are online, and I do have a love for that as well. They're finding the ones that are fake and showing people how they are doing them. So I do appreciate those. And I am just waiting for some of the videos to come across to where they're like, I got absolutely nothing for this one, and those are the ones that, I like so much, like those are freaking great. I like that they do that too. Certain ones that are out there, saying, stop making these shows that are deceiving people and making real paranormal investigations hard for people that, want to really find the truth, and it's great, man. It is great. But as far as Bigfoot, Patrick, you have some facts for us tonight that you want to go over?
Bigfoot, our first legitimate modern day sighting of Bigfoot came in 1958. So that was the first. Of course, that was 9 years before the video.
Okay.
So that was actually recognized as when the first modern Bigfoot sighting happened was 1958. Now, the organization, Bigfoot Researchers Organization, they gave a listing of how many times has Bigfoot been sighted. I mentioned that Washington was 1, California was 2, and I wasn't too surprised when I saw number 3, which was Ohio, because I've actually talked to a lot of Bigfoot hunters there, cryptid hunters in Ohio. A lot of people have had sightings in Ohio. It seems a little surprising to me, considering that as far as population go, Ohio has a much bigger population than, probably even more so than Washington. Of course, not California, but Washington. And you would think there'd be a lot more sightings in Ohio, but actually they've only had a little over 400. And I know 3 of them because I talked to them. I talked to one guy. He had three Bigfoot encounters, and I believe him. I believe him. He says he went nose to nose, and he's a big dude. He's like 6'6". He said the Bigfoot was bigger than he was.
That's pretty big.
And that makes that's and he says that's what everybody says about a full-grown Bigfoot is about 9 feet. The weight anywhere between 800 to 1,000 pounds. I think the one thing that would be really cool to find out is someone actually set up, because Yetis are basically snow Bigfoot, and I don't think there's been quite as many sightings of a Yeti Bigfoot. I don't know if they hibernate either. That's one thing no one's never found out. I mean, you saw a couple of our videos today where the Bigfoot was in snow.
Yeah.
So does that mean the Bigfoot doesn't hibernate, or does he?
Or maybe they're different. Like there's different Bigfoots that do different things for different areas, and we just call them all Bigfoot, because we don't really know what they are.
I thought the part that fascinated me the most was when I typed in, because I'm like, okay, how many Bigfoot are there? I mean, you think that you run across one, and then they typed up there. I mean, they had anywhere between 2,000 Bigfoot to one organization's claiming they could be over 20,000. And I was like, well, that's obviously that's not true. They just would have been. There's just the impossibility, the mathematical improbabilities of them avoiding human contact. It's just impossible. They would have run across somebody somewhere, or left their footprint, during the snow, or during, you got, that's one thing no one talks about. We talked about that earlier. It's like, man, if you're like the guy in Kentucky, okay, I understand you don't want to go out there to trapeze around, but you can put more cameras up there. I mean, you saw where the Bigfoot sits and eats. I mean, if you put out food there, and there's no reason why you couldn't put down mud, or plaster, and try to get the Bigfoot to leave a footprint. I mean, you can't really fake it. I mean, they would actually, they'd be able to take the foot, take it back, get DNA off of it, and ascertain that it's real.
So I mean, and hell, if you were smart, you'd hook those cameras up where you laid the plaster, and then where it steps in it. Not only do you have the footprint, but you have the video of it stepping there as well.
Yeah, I think the one thing that got me, and as far as the possibility of Bigfoot, was the fact that the migration thing. It's like I could see the migration from Washington to Canada. I don't, to me, where would the southern Bigfoot go? Would they migrate, or would they just stay in their habitat? I mean, I can't imagine them going like, okay, it's wintertime, I'm going to go ahead and hike up to Canada and then come back. The risk of exposure would be too great. I think they have their own little areas. If they did, they would have their own little areas, and they would stay there where they were safe.
Yeah, the amount of people, like I know I've lived in Ohio almost my whole life, barring the time I was in the military and a couple years, in between there. But I've never, obviously come across anything. But I would expect, if someone said that, hey, they're Bigfoot in Ohio, I would expect it to be up north. I live southern Ohio, southeast Ohio. Which is nowhere near. And Ohio, it's funny because it's like cities, and then you have gaps of nothing in between cities. You have your rural areas and stuff, but then there are places out in Ohio where there's nothing. There's literally nothing. A lot of our population does center around the cities that we have between Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, Dayton, being the bigger ones that are here. And then also, a bunch of smaller cities that are around. But I could see some areas. I would be curious where in Ohio, these sightings are. And, from the people that say that they've seen them here. Because I know as a kid I always played outside. I was always in woods. I was always never came across anything, that was super strange. Or maybe I was just too young to even notice, because then there's that too. We were running around making tons of noise, playing hide and seek, playing army. We were like 9 and 10 years old, dude. Like we had toy guns and we're screaming the whole time, but I don't know. I've never seen anything, here, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, especially the part of Ohio I live in. So I am curious for that. But I am, Patrick, going to go over what, AI has come up with, because I asked it, what are the odds mathematically that Bigfoot exists current day? That was the exact question that I asked. And it said, here was the reply. I'll read the reply to you guys. It said, I'll frame this like a probability estimate, not a belief answer. Define what would need to be true. weigh evidence, then give a realistic odds range. So basically, the question that I asked ChatGPT was like, well, let's narrow it down this way to give you a mathematical answer. It says, mathematically, I'd put the odds of Bigfoot existing today as a real breeding population of large unknown North American primates roughly at 0.01% to 0.1%. And it gives reasons. And, to break that down, it says that's about 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 1,000, right? So the odds are definitely stacked against it, right?
Right.
Why so low? For Bigfoot to exist today, there would need to be a breeding population, not just one creature. That means bodies, bones, DNA, scat, clear trail cam footage, roadkill, or fossil evidence to show that they likely have shown up by now. Mainstream evidence is still mostly eyewitness reports, blurry video / photos, footprints, and sounds. Even pro Bigfoot databases like the BFRO rely on submitted reports rather than confirmed biological proof.
Right.
The biggest mathematical problem is the population survival. A hidden animal population usually needs hundreds or thousands of individuals to avoid dying out. The bigger the population, the harder it is to remain completely undetected in modern North America. So my honest estimate, chance of Bigfoot existing as described in folklore under 0.1%. Chances of people are seeing misidentified bears, hoaxes, shadows, humans, or unusual animals over 99%. I still leave a tiny chance because remote wilderness exists and eyewitness reports keep coming in, but scientifically, the odds are extremely low.
Yeah.
So, I don't usually go to ChatGPT for a lot of things, but with this, I wanted an answer mathematically, and I didn't really know how to calculate that. So I was like, you know what? Let's see what it has to say. And to me, Patrick, in all honesty, not being an expert, not going through the data myself, not being out doing the work that these guys are doing out here, to prove this, I would have to say that this brings up, some good points from an outsider looking in, right? That I think that's what makes, these are a lot of the reasons that make it so hard to believe for, a lot of people.
I agree. I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that I would like to see how it would react if you factored in the fact that, how many Bigfoot could it be possible to live in Canada? I have a feeling it will probably go up slightly higher because of that remote wilderness. But overall, I mean, it really comes down to that, and that is, you can't really base a science on just eyewitness. You just can't do it. And feet, especially now, people who try to do, fake it with feet. Look, I found a Bigfoot, print. They can scrape that for DNA. They can tell you if you're bullshit or not.
Right.
It's easier now to myth bust a Bigfoot sighting than ever before. I mean, again, and people aren't trying to dismiss it because they're cruel. They're trying to do it because they're interested. I mean, we're finding new species all the time. In fact, they were just down in Central America, and they found like hundreds of new species. They're completely unknown in this one small area in Peru, and they're going like, we never seen any of these animals before. So, I mean, that goes, that goes to Bigfoot. Maybe we just haven't, maybe we just haven't. I mean, he's out there. We just haven't found him yet.
That's 100% true. It is. It's just the day and age that we live in. It is hard, and we've talked about this throughout the show, that it is hard to imagine something that is, the difference between the animals, to me, in my humble opinion. So don't anybody lash out at me for saying this. I am playing devil's advocate here. I think that the difference in the animals that were found in South, America near Peru, nobody was looking for them, as
No.
opposed to where Bigfoot, tons of people have been looking for a very long time for this specific creature itself. So, but take that for what it's worth. Like again, it's all opinion based. I see Wayne said, I have to say this because this is freaking hilarious. AI is part of the cover up, so you can't ask AI. It's going to skew the numbers because it's covering it up on purpose. AI is generated and created by humans. It's not perfect, programmed to cover up. It is a possibility. I was looking for the mathematical answer and how to look at the data, Wayne, for sure. Trust me, believe me. I am not a big fan of AI whatsoever, but I didn't know the math or how to look at it. So, and I mean, even that, like you brought up, possible errors in that, because does it calculate living in Canada and the amount of remote wilderness up there and the possibility of just centralizing the question there to say, what is the probability that this could happen or that this could be here, which is great, which is fantastic. But yeah, man, I don't think that we're going to get our definitive answer tonight, Patrick. I don't think that we're going to crack the code.
No.
But I will say this. You guys have made me more interested in this to where it makes me want to dig a little more and learn more, for sure. It does.
Oh, yeah. It was fun doing that today. For getting ready for the show, to go ahead and dig up some facts and figures, and it was a lot of fun. It's like, okay, well, because like like I said, I think it really helps. For me anyway, was the fact that I have interviewed a few cryptid investigators, and they 100% believe. They absolutely believe that Bigfoot exists and other cryptids. And again, it's like, who's to say? Who's to say, definitively that there's no such things?
Right.
I mean, someone tells me that they went nose to nose with Bigfoot and he was bigger than he was. I'm going to tend to believe that, simply for the fact that who in their right mind is going to sit there and make up a story that a Bigfoot was bigger than me. I'm 6'6", it was bigger than me. Because most people's egos are not going to allow them to say that. They're going to sit there and say, yeah, he's about my size, or smaller or whatnot. For someone to come out there and admit that, yeah, man, this was legitimately bigger than me and faster than me, and and scarier than, it's very scary. Think about the people who, when you talk to these folks, because same thing with paranormal, if you really talk to them face to face, you could tell the ones that are there to bullshit you, to pull your leg, versus the ones that truly believe and truly have the experience that they've said they've had.
Yeah.
I mean, and it gives you, even if you're a skeptic, but when you hear someone actually tell you that they've met a Bigfoot and had an encounter, that veneer of, whatever, it starts to crack. It starts to crack, and all of a sudden, now you're starting to, you're putting you're planting the seeds of doubt in that person's mind. Like, maybe as small as it is, maybe there's something to what these guys have been saying.
Yeah. And I mean, nobody knows better than the people that are out there, right? Who am I to sit here and say that because I was given a calculation of the probability from a program on a computer that knows any better than someone who's out there day to day looking for this, or like you said, had a personal experience with it. My mind, since I started doing normal stuff, has been open. Like if you were to ask me today, do I believe in Bigfoot? I would say, I don't know, but there is some small part of me that kind of hopes that it's there. Like I don't know why, I feel that way. But maybe it's just because it's always been something, growing up as a kid that you heard about, like, yeah, you want to believe these things. So, more power to the people that are out there doing this, same with the paranormal investigators, more power to all of the people that are doing these types of things. And the only reason I make the comparison between the two is it's my only way of doing so, because they're both unbelieved by the general population. The general population is saying, oh, it's not true, it's not real. But at the end of the day, like, who am I to say anything to someone that says to me like, hey, no, like, seriously, I've seen this with my own eyes. I can't tell them what they saw. And then there's no reason to lie to me. I mean, who am I? I'm just some guy, right? Am I going to change the world by believing you or not believing you? No, but you're telling me, and that's freaking awesome, man. That is.
People, the same people, the scientific people who sit there and say, well, it's all hearsay. It's all just by human encounters. There's no concrete evidence.
Right.
There's been no concrete evidence of space aliens either. Yet there's still people out there still thinking that we have aliens outside outside in space.
Yeah.
There's no one's ever gotten a spaceship. No one's ever gotten an alien. No one's, we got meteorites, but no one's ever gotten any, no, there's never been any sort of proof that aliens exist and have been on this planet. Yet here we are, we still have the same belief, and we're still believing that there could be aliens outside our door, even though there's been no proof.
Right.
I mean, who's to say that they didn't drop off the Bigfoot?
That's fair. And I mean, then there's another thing too, and I bring this up because I always want people, like, I actually say this about movies, make up your own minds. I think that from a young age, we are programmed to believe and not believe, certain things because that's what we were taught our whole lives. Don't ever get too old to stop asking questions. Like, don't ever get too old to not think that you may have thought of something as wrong before, or you're never too old to stop learning stuff. All I'm saying is don't be closed-minded about everything. Like, I try to listen to what people say, and make up my mind based off of, what I'm being told by people. But, just because odds are stacked against something doesn't mean that it's not going to happen or it can't happen. Did you guys ever see Rocky? I mean, come on, man. Like, what were the odds of him beating Apollo? It's nothing.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Wayne's got a good one right here too for us, Patrick. He said the real answer on these things is we don't know for sure either way. The problem, most people want certainty, but in these things we truly don't know unless you may have truly experienced these. Yeah, man, 100%, dude, 100 freaking percent. And that, this wasn't to get on here and change anyone's mind or to,
this is fun.
Yeah, we are not the guys for that, Patrick.
No, no, man. We wanted to have fun with this. We wanted to present it as we did. We wanted to get you guys involved in it, and you guys have been. And means just to talk, and a lot of times, and we wanted to keep it light too, and that was really something that was important to us, so you guys could have fun with it. I've seen some other shows, and holy cow, they treat it like it's life and death, and it's like, it's not life and death, it's fun. You're going to get a lot more people believing what you have to say if you just have fun with it. If you come out and are dour and like deadly serious, I think you lose a lot of credibility, because it's like, wow, for someone being so serious, can you show us why you're so serious?
Right.
Okay, you must have a toenail, a Bigfoot. No, then why are you serious?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, have fun with this. I had a blast. I mean, I think it's fun, and I can't wait for you to bring your surprise too. When it's ready.
Me too. Yeah, I got to talk to a couple people before I do that. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, my man. And that excuse me. That was out of nowhere. It'll be definitely fun for sure. And dude, we've got to do this again, Patrick. Like, we can't not. Like, this was too much fun for me tonight. And who knows, man? Maybe we'll dive into something else next time, or maybe we'll do a Bigfoot 2, or we'll definitely talk, man. I'm definitely looking forward to these for sure. But But yeah, man, thanks for coming tonight, dude, and thanks for hanging out
Thank you.
with me, dude, and everybody in the chat. I know you're usually hanging out here anyway, but thanks for coming on here and giving your, you've done a lot more with this than I have. I would like to do more with it, for sure. I definitely would, because I think that it's fun. I'm not going to offer any fact, like at most, maybe I'll make everybody laugh. You know what I mean? At most, but I like to hear about this stuff. I think it's really cool.
You asked me how this came about, and it's like, it wasn't me. It was another content creator, Mr. Dan and Horror, and he was doing he was racing cars, Hot Wheel cars in his backyard, and he had a Yeti car and he had a Bigfoot car, and he was racing them. And then he came up with someone came up with the idea that the Yeti and the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, were having a feud on the track, and it just took off from there. The summer of the race was so much fun. We're like, okay, are we gonna, we want to see more of the feud, and hopefully this summer we'll get round 2. But that was just so much fun. I have a young man coming on my show this Friday who I met when he was just 17, and him and his dad, and he created a little franchise called the Tennessee Bigfoot, and he made a movie about a Bigfoot encounter. And I haven't seen the whole movie yet. I'm sure it's no budget, but the fact of the matter is he came out there and made a Bigfoot movie just made me laugh. I'm going like, that's just so awesome. I just Bigfoot, and then next thing you know, Bigfoot's taking over here.
Yeah, and it's been you guys in the chat. You know what I mean? It has been all you guys. I've seen, you talking about it, Russell talking about it. I'm sure Wayne's thrown, his 2 cents in there. And I mean, you've come in the chat and I've seen Melissa herself say, "Hi, Bigfoot," when you come in. And it's just gotten to that point to where it's just like, I guarantee, whether I am talking about Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, if I'm doing paranormal, if I'm doing horror shorts, somewhere Bigfoot is gonna make an appearance in my chat. Whether it be a freaking comment, and Bigfoot evolved into Ghostfoot. I even saw a ghost face foot tonight. So there, yeah, like, so there, it's freaking hilarious. And then Jeff says Bigfoot would be the world's undefeated hide and seek champion. Yes, 100%. Like he's a game changer, Jeff, if I've ever seen one. Guaranteed.
Oh my god,
guaranteed.
That's too awesome.
So I do have to bring this. Yeah, I know. I do have to bring this up, and it is a total direction changer. But I do want to address this because I had recommended to Russell probably about 6 months ago to check out the show Ted Lasso, and he's made the comment, right? So I guess Russell has just started Ted Lasso, and I have to ask Russell, while I've got you on here, do you love it? I mean, you want to talk about, look, I fell in love with that show.
Jason Sudeikis is awesome.
It's one of my favorite shows. I put it up there, top 5 all time.
Yeah,
for that show to be what it is, from beginning to end, Russell, that's all I'm going to tell you is it's freaking fantastic. Absolutely love Ted Lasso. I know you want me to do a show on Ted Lasso. I don't know how I'm going to work that in or what I'm going to do. I do know that there is a new season coming out of Ted Lasso, which I feel indifferent about because of the way that the last season ended. To me, it was the perfect ending. So I am a little nervous about this next season, but at the same time, I'm excited to see all the characters again. So I'm 50-50 with it, really. But I had to bring that up. I know it doesn't really have its place in the Bigfoot chat, Russell, but I'm glad that you are enjoying it. And I'm jealous.
Anybody that brings up a Bill Lawrence show, we have to talk about it. The gentleman who created Bill Lasso, he also created Scrubs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, yeah,
I
it's
d-
another excellent show. Excellent show. And Ted Lasso, I mean, that definitely is the Jason Sudeikis show. And you know, he used to be on Saturday Night Live for
yep.
years, but he came off and he's one of those other comedians that can translate and go into drama and do it very well.
Yeah.
I know Ted Lasso's like I don't think it's like a comedy drama,
Yeah.
and Bill Lawrence does that better than anybody. I can't think of anybody who does it better than that. I know that it's been coming. I know it's been out. I just don't know if it's been coming out on physical media or not. But that's a show I would like to see very much.
Yeah. I'm Ted Lasso to me is like a roller coaster of emotions. You're laughing one minute, you're crying the next. Like they
Right.
did such a good job. And you know, right now, currently, Russell, if you want to know, I am currently watching the Dutton Ranch. I am very big on I was very big on Yellowstone. I didn't really like the last season too much of Yellowstone, so I was a little hesitant for the Dutton Ranch. And so far, so good. I'm having a good time with it. I love, you know, the characters in that movie. I think that Rip and Beth are the perfect two if you're going to follow two in this, because the Cody story, U.S. Marshals, kind of lost me in the first couple episodes to where I really, you know, it wasn't the same. So
Yeah, it's network TV. It loses the sting on network TV. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and you see the character on Yellowstone, you know, cussing and fighting and whatnot, and it's like now you got him on CBS, and the, you know, the harshest thing he says is "damn." You
yeah,
know, it's like you know, it's sort of hard.
yeah.
But yeah, I love Rip. I think Rip's my favorite character in that show by far, and I think it's hilarious that's the same guy who was the bad guy in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yep.
no one recognizes him from that
Yep.
because he's
He
totally
sure is.
100% different from where he was from Too Fast. You know,
Well,
Too
let's not
Fast, Too
forget
Furious.
he was in Dazed and Confused as well. He was
Was
one
he?
of the guys with the paddles. Yeah, he was the idiot, or no, was Ben Affleck was the idiot that failed. He was one of the guys, you know, that hung out with he was one of the football players.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Dazed and Confused as well. So he's been around for a little while. And the character of
Yeah.
Rip alone, in the Dutton Ranch, so far, I think there's been 5 episodes. Episode 4 was a heartbreaker. Episode 5, I'm like, oh, where the hell are they going with this now? I'm kind of confused, but yeah, it's another great one. If you did enjoy Yellowstone, and you're not watching the Dutton Ranch, I highly recommend it because it has 100% old school Yellowstone vibes to it right now. So that's what I'm watching right now, and I'm very happy you're watching Ted Lasso, Russell. But yeah, I definitely would like to talk about that. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but where it would fit in, but I would definitely, it would definitely be fun for sure. But Patrick, dude, tonight was fucking fantastic. I had an absolute blast with this, man, and I feel like there may have to be something else. Like I like diving into this with you, man. It was very fun to do for sure.
Well, let me know. Let me know anytime that you need me.
Sure.
Except for the last Sunday of every month. That's the only thing I can't do it on. But any other Sunday that you need me to come on here and chew the fat, I'm down with it.
Yeah, man. I'll definitely try to work it in for sure. I know that I'm behind on horror shorts. Michelle let me know that this evening. We definitely have to jump back into those for sure. We've got some paranormal we got to get into. There's a lot that's going on. Just a quick little, you'll be getting some Seventh Day news soon. I'm excited to share that with you guys here soon. I'm hoping to have a teaser trailer done. I'm not going to say when yet, but it's coming very soon. And I'm looking forward to sharing. I'll probably premiere it on the channel. I've never premiered anything before. So I think I'll probably premiere that and then maybe go into a live shortly after, to where we'll talk about it. And I think that's how I'll handle that. But Patrick, I'll talk to you backstage, buddy. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we got out of here with these guys?
yeah, if you guys aren't doing anything this Wednesday, I'm interviewing actress Andrea Garces Lopez. If you've seen her picture on my channel, she's even better looking in person. And she'll be here. We'll be talking about 7 Days to Hell, and looking forward to that. And of course, next Friday, we're interviewing Kal-El Neal and talking about Tennessee Bigfoot franchise.
It's freaking awesome. I can't wait for that, man. I definitely can't wait for that. But yeah, you guys, this has been great. Patrick, this has been great. We're going to go ahead and jump out of here for tonight. You guys in the chat, you know I love y'all. And I will hopefully see you guys Friday at some point. I will see you guys then. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump out of here, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Hey, you